Welcome to the Mick Sterling Experience, a weekly listen to local musicians, music and interviews in front of a live studio audience, a program furthering awareness of the 30 Days Foundation. And now to Utility Room A along the banks of the Minnesota River. It's the Mick Sterling Experience.
All right, welcome back to the Mick Sterling Experience once again, where we have a wonderful live studio audience. And this is a program benefiting the 30 Days Foundation and is brought to you in part by Wallace Radio Syndication, Star Prairie Trout Farm, and Unlocked Michigan. Unlocked Mission. And here we go. Let's get right to the music and interviews. Our host, Mick Sterling. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you, Matt. Thanks, everybody. Utility Room A, the hottest joint in town. This is the Mick Sterling Experience, and we are so glad that you're here. We are loving doing these shows and introducing such amazing musicians and singer-songwriters as we go along, and also really find out some unique things about these very talented people. Tonight, my friends, my little friends, we have a very special person in my life. This man is a blues troubadour. He's from New Mexico. He's been in my life for over 2 decades, maybe getting close to 3 decades. Literally one of the finest guitar players you're going to hear. Great singer-songwriter, a true blues man, just a true rocker, great guitarist, Mr. Ken Valdez, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, man. With an intro like that. Oh, no, don't stop. No, just kidding.
The entire show, just applause. That's really interesting radio right there. So, Ken, basically what's going to happen in this show is that I want you to do a few songs for these nice people and the people that are listening on the radio. And in between songs, we're going to find out about you, and we'll talk about things that, I have no idea what I'm going to ask you, but I know I'm going to ask you something, and I know it's going to be an interesting time. So, ladies and gentlemen, first song, singer-songwriter, bluesman, Mr. Ken Valdez.
Oh, wow.
Go get it, baby.
Well, all right. I'll tell you what, my friend, if I could, live radio, right? Go ahead and bring that volume up a little bit, both my guitar and my vocal, please. I had no idea that we were going to be doing this in front of a live crowd. This is fantastic. I'm going to do, this right here is actually quite possibly the first song I ever wrote, and I've been playing it a lot, so it goes like this. If I asked you, hey, what would you tell me, baby? If I had you be by my side, would you be near me? Oh, I've been lost, I've been confused. Yeah, I can't get close to you, no. All I know is I'm alone again tonight, yeah. And if I asked you, baby, maybe I could call you later. Would you pick up your phone, maybe turn it off? Oh, you know I could text you, yeah. I've been up, I've been down. Yeah, I've been kicked around. All I know, I'm alone again tonight, yeah. Wait a minute right there, baby. What did you say? All I know, I'm gonna love you anyway. What's your name? I've been looking at you for such a long, long time. You guys got me all flustered. And I'm not the same. I've been lost. I've been confused. Yeah, I can't get close to you. Yeah. All I know is I'm alone again tonight. Yeah. All I know, I'm alone again tonight, babe. I know, all I know, I'm alone again tonight, yeah. Alone again tonight, yeah.
That's Ken Valdez
Sugar ducking now. Thank you.
on the Mick Sterling Experience. Man,
Dude.
I realized that I didn't play like that the first time I had a guitar.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Ken, let's talk about where you're from. Let's talk about the first time you heard the blues and it moved you. Were you in your house? Were you in a car? Talk about your upbringing.
My upbringing was, I come from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And Santa Fe, New Mexico is a wonderful place that is completely different than the Twin Cities. And what was amazing about it was growing up, my father was a musician. He played drums for this kind of cool bubblegummy garage rock band. And apparently they were supposed to be like the next big thing.
Oh, wow.
They were bound for greatness. And this was when they were in high school. All of them decided, we're going to go to college instead of pursue this, except for one guy. He didn't make it. But my dad, for the longest time, would be like, hey, this is how I became a success. This is how you become a success. You know, he went to college and he did the thing, and all I ever really wanted to do was play music. I mean, I grew up around music. My dad would listen to music. My mom would listen to music. It was like this house filled with like Sam Cooke and Roy Orbison, Ricky Nelson, and it was, it's stuff like that. And that's what I was raised on, right? And I couldn't get music out of my head, couldn't get it, I was always immersed in it. When I was a little kid, I wanted to play rock star instead of whatever else, right? I wanted to picked up my tennis racket and pretended it was a guitar, and I was just jamming out. But that was literally the upbringing that I had, was just like all I wanted to do was play music. I discovered the blues. I must have been probably 11, 12 years old, and I caught Jeff Healey playing a live show on TV. And that changed everything.
Yeah, he was a monster.
He was a monster.
I saw him at the Guthrie Theater.
God.
It's one of the loudest shows I've ever seen in my life. It was glorious.
He has played a tremendous a part of my life and my career. Because fast forward a few years later, after I had this life-changing experience watching him on TV, I get to go open for him on tour. And that's kind of where I got my start, was with him. And so this is all I ever wanted to do. So
we're going to dig in more on what motivates you, what moves you, what you do now, what got you to where you're doing right now. Would you mind doing another song for these nice people, Matt?
Absolutely.
Do we have time? We have time? Yeah, we have time before we have to do another break. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Mick Sterling Experience, in your town at this moment, Ken Valdez.
Oh, wow. All right. So I've been working on some new music. And a buddy of mine named John O'Manson, a phenomenal singer-songwriter from New Mexico. He and I started this song many, many, many years ago, and it wasn't until the pandemic that we actually got a chance to finish this. It's amazing what gets done during the pandemic, man. Yeah. And it's called The One That Got Away. It goes like this. It's alright tonight, alone again. Lately, nothing goes as planned. I'll leave it behind. When your walls start turning, our bridges burn, my voice inside your head. Do you recall or remember all the things I've done and said? There could have been no happy endings, love is give and take. I won't take no more, I'm the one that got away. Okay, today I start brand new. Old dreams, old scenes, yeah, all tried and true. I'll leave them behind. When your world stops turning, our bridges burn, my voice inside your head. When you look into his eyes, I hope that you will see me there. I don't wanna be a memory or promise that you break. I won't take no more, I'm the one that got away. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's alright tonight, alone again. When your world stops turning, our bridges burn, my voice inside your head. When you look into his eyes, I hope that you will see me there. I don't wanna be a memory or promise that you break. Well, I'm someone that you never knew or never will again. I didn't have to be the one that got away. I'm the one that got away.
You're listening to Ken Valdez on the Mick Sterling Experience.
All right, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about Unlocked Mission. So we'll get to that right after this. The Mick Sterling Experience.
Hi, it's Mick Sterling, host of the Experience, presented by Quick Trip. We're truly honored to bring you this unique music program, and we know you'll enjoy the talented artists presented. But here's something else that's important. With the help of Quick Trip, we're spreading awareness of the 30 Days Foundation. We assist those in financial need with a one-time grant made payable only to the service provider. It's not the amount, it's the timing of the amount, because we've all been there. Visit the 30-daysfoundation.org to find out more.
At CHS, we go the extra mile, opening an origination
All right,
facility in
3
Brazil
minutes.
to maintain a year-round supply
Top
of
off your drink,
soybeans,
get some food.
ensuring that thousands of bins of fruit remain fresh in climate-controlled rooms, developing a bioenergy partnership to add value to the corn our members produce.
Business. You know, I've seen a lot of business get done in the boardroom, but I've watched a lot more get done on the lake. Because when you get out of the confinement and relax, you can really get business done.
How does Fishing for Business work?
People should go and log on to the website fishingforbusiness.com and tell us what you need. We then plan and deliver either an extended or a day trip of hunting or fishing. All equipment, meals, and opportunity are provided, and that lets you take care of your business.
Who uses Fishing for Business?
Corporations, school outings, church functions, you name it. If you want to close a big deal or thank them for giving you business, Fishing for Business handles groups of 2 to 200.
Tell us the story of business getting done with Fishing for Business.
I took 2 owners of a manufacturing company in South St. Paul and their 4 distributors out on a duck hunting and fishing trip in South Dakota. We crushed the ducks. They got their deal done, and they still talk about it.
Fishing for Business, a unique way to get business done on the web at fishingforbusiness.com.
I like saving money. I mean, it's not like I have a purse stuffed with coupons or... Okay, I do. The other day, I went into Wells Fargo to get help with a car loan.
Good news. You qualify for our double discount promotion. Get double the interest rate discount we normally give on select new loans and lines of credit just for being a Wells Fargo checking package customer.
And the best part, I didn't even need a coupon.
Come to Wells Fargo to discuss how the double discount promotion can help with the interest rate on your new loan or line of credit. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Subject to credit qualification. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. Equal housing lender.
There's a resort called Give Kids the World where children with life-threatening illnesses can fill their week with pure joy. Kids and their
30
families indulge in
seconds-ish.
simple pleasures like swimming, visiting local Orlando theme parks, and eating unlimited ice cream, all for free. Call 800-995-KIDS or visit the Give Kids the World website at gktw.org and help give them a time to remember. Brought to you by Give Kids the World and the Ad Council.
Now back to the Mick Sterling Experience.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Our show is sponsored in part by and partnered with Unlocked Mission, uniting communities through music and music education. Unlocked Mission partners with Joyful Noise Recording and Performance Ship on the Mississippi River. Find Unlocked Mission at unlockedmission.org. All right, take it, Mick.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody. We're in front of a live audience here at Utility Room A. My name is Mick Sterling. This is the Mick Sterling Experience. You are listening to the show in your town at this moment. And at this moment in your town, you are listening to Ken Valdez on the guitar and the vocals. He's doing an amazing job. You know, Ken, you mentioned something just briefly in the first segment about the pandemic. And that was an interesting time for everybody.
Yes.
I remember doing a show. I'm a musician in the Twin Cities, and I did a show in 2020 on March 14th, and they shut the theater down, and that was the last show that a lot of people did, sometimes for a year and a half. But so we had to get creative. How do we get our music out? How do we continue to do what we do within the parameters of what we had? A lot of fear, a lot of speculation of things that made true but not true. It was tough.
Yes.
It was tough. But Ken was one of the people that did something online. You continued to perform. Talk about what you did during that time frame, because it was interesting.
The pandemic was it was a fascinating time. Yeah, like we all went through it, but it's how we went through it that really, really kind of blew me away. I think one of the things that I missed tremendously was the interaction, just human interaction. It's great. I get to see, my family, whatever. We're in the house. That's a fine thing. That's a great thing. I don't mind that. But I miss my friends, and especially when you're a musician or a touring musician, you miss the road, and there's things like that. So what I ended up doing was, a lot of people probably saw this, and I thought that the internet, this is one thing that I can honestly say, man, the internet is really cool right now. And what I mean by that is during that time, musicians got creative and started performing online. Man, all of a sudden it's like, oh, I get to catch this, and like it feels kind of like this, except that we're just looking at computer screens or on the TV, or But it was cool because we got a chance to reconnect and do things kind of like this, and then play music, and then talk and find out what everybody's been doing during this crazy time, and it was a wonderful way to reconnect. Also during the pandemic, my son was born, right? That was a crazy thing. Then I did a record that I thought was gone, history, like it happened, but it never existed, and miraculously it was found in a dumpster. And that became a pandemic project. The most ridiculous, life-changing things for me as a person, as a musician, as a new father, happened during that time.
Wasn't that an interesting petri dish?
God,
it really was, because you had to. I thought it was so fascinating how people decided to negotiate that time period. Did you fear it? Did you respect it? Did you go, I'm just not going to do anything because I'm completely terrified of this, or are you going to try and find some way to work within it? And that's what you did. But you know and I know, there were many musicians who just did not perform at all. And for me, the thing that made me sad about that was that you and I know we have a very short shelf life to perform and write in the way that we want to write.
Yes.
And when you take even just a few months out of that, it's really sad that some people just decided to not do anything. And that's why I applaud what you did, and I did the same thing, and others did it too. Like, we kept going. We had to keep going because this is, you're a blues man. This is what you do. You think about it every second of the day. This defines you. And I'm really proud of you that you did that during that time frame, because a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, thank you.
A lot of people didn't.
No, it was just that missing of interaction. But it's also like, I applaud a lot of the musicians that actually stepped up and did things like that, because I'm one of the lucky ones where I get to say, I do this for a living.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, my livelihood was just completely taken away from me. I couldn't go out and play. I couldn't go out on tour. I couldn't do anything like that. And all of a sudden, it's like, I could try this. Sure, why not? Why not? But the nice thing is it led us to find yet another medium, another way to not just stay connected, but as a songwriter, as an artist, it was really nice to see that there was another way that we can go ahead and reach you guys.
It certainly opened up things that never would have come to your brain if this wasn't in front of you. We had to face it as musicians and go, what do we do with this? And a lot of people didn't, but you never would have done your online podcast without the pandemic, and all these things presented itself because of that, which is, it is kind of an interesting, bizarre blessing in some way.
It was a bizarre blessing, but I'm going to ask you something. During that time, right?
Yeah.
During that time, do you think that things have changed significantly, or maybe not so significantly, since then for musicians?
I don't think for musicians. I think more for live audience members.
I guess that's kind of where I'm going with that.
I think people are a little more hesitant to maybe commit to a show early enough. I mean, what was happening, it's a little inside baseball music business, but you're listening to the Mick Sterling Experience, so this you must be listening for some reason. It's a difficult thing. It's hard to. A lot of shows got canceled. A lot of shows got canceled within an hour of when you were coming.
Yes.
If someone had COVID, that was it. The entire band didn't work at that particular time, and so people remember that. People remember when they have a bad food experience at a restaurant 10 years ago. They won't go back to that restaurant. It's in their head. And that takes a long time for people to feel comfortable. So I don't really sense it from the musicians as much as the audience members.
Absolutely.
That changed, and that's going to take a long time, I think, for people to feel comfortable about that, and for some people just to feel comfortable going out in a live audience.
Absolutely, and
that's for sure.
I think that's such an important thing to take a look at, because what's awesome, and I can say this to this crowd that's here this evening, as well as everybody that's listening. I think one of the things that pandemic kind of showed us as musicians was, back pre-pandemic days, a lot of times it was like, hey, well, we're kind of in competition with the other band who's playing down the road, or there's another band over here. And it wasn't really like that after the pandemic. Rather, it was like, now we're competing with y'all's couches.
That's very good.
You know what I mean?
Like bathtubs with the phone. You're watching the phone.
It's like all of a sudden, it's like,
that's really good.
All of a sudden, it's like, we got this really killer show. And I think bands are starting to step up because they're starting to understand this. It's like, dude, well, we got to promote more. We got to do something a little bit different, because the next season of Stranger Things is about to pop up, and you guys are all going to binge it,
right?
And we're not going to have anybody over here.
We're competing with comfy clothes and pajamas. That's what we're competing with.
I tend to play in comfy clothes and pajamas. I'll do that just for you guys to come out and maybe feel a little bit more at home. But
Ken, the thing, and we're going to get to a break here just in a minute here, but I want to finish with this segment just by saying that I think what I found out was that when we started doing live shows in the Twin Cities in June of 2020 in this parking lot, we did a thing called the relief sessions.
I remember.
There were 250 people that could be in a parking lot. There was a car, an empty space, and another car. And people sat between the cars. They were safely distanced. It was outside. We did the first show, and people were crying. The bands were crying. The people were crying. Because I think what the pandemic made people realize is that music is not a luxury. Live music is not a luxury. Live music is a necessity. This is a necessity. And people didn't really realize it until it got taken away.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about coming back. I think people appreciate it more than they did before. They know it's more important than it was before.
And you know this definitely. And one of the biggest things that I can honestly share with everybody, it takes an audience to make music happen.
Yes.
It just does. So, yeah, hey, I'll right on. So this right here, a small but mighty crowd, I applaud you guys, because y'all are here and other people are on their couches. Well, you guys are actually on couches. You guys are.
This is a great way to end this segment. We are very glad you're here. This is a great conversation. Lots more coming up on the Mick Sterling Experience with Ken Valdez, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey hockey fans, are you looking for ways to save money? Bank with Heartland Credit Union, Dakota County's Credit Union, and 2009 River Heights Chamber Business of the Year. You'll enjoy fewer fees, 35,000 surcharge-free ATMs, competitive rates, and federally insured savings. Live, work, worship, volunteer, or attend school in Dakota County? You can join. Visit www.heartlandcu.com or call 651-451-5160. Mention this ad and we'll give you the first $5 to open your account.
Hello, this is Chris Francis on behalf of fishingforbusiness.com. Have you ever thought of holding your next meeting while fishing the beautiful lakes of Minnesota, Wisconsin, or the Dakotas? Listen, go to www.fishingforbusiness.com and all the information is there for you to see. Fishing for Business is a full guide service. Extended or day trips. Spend a day with your best customer or your best employee. Get out of the office, off the phone, and get down to business. Fishingforbusiness.com, a unique way to get business done.
Since 2004, MinnesotaSportsOnline.com has strived to bring you the best in high school sports coverage. We have grown to partner with newspapers like the Star Tribune, as well as 70 radio stations across the state. Whether you're checking out the week's top 10s, printing off your playoff brackets, looking up stats, or listening to live audio, we want to say thanks for stopping by. And do us a favor, be sure to tell others about MinnesotaSportsOnline.com.
It's tough to break into a career.
Everybody wants to hire someone with experience.
But how can you get experience if no one will hire you?
The National Guard provided paid training, which helped me get my foot in the door with a software company.
I wanted to go into law enforcement. The Guard made me an MP. My military police training looks great on my resume.
I'm in finance. The National Guard offered that exact specialty.
In the Guard, you can get paid training in your specialty, then go out and apply those skills in the civilian world.
Employers like to see that you've done the hands-on work and not just read about it in a textbook.
I wouldn't be where I am today without the Guard.
I'm serving my country, and I'm succeeding in the National Guard.
I'm getting ahead with the Guard.
The training I get helps me in my civilian job.
The Guard is a great opportunity.
Visit 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD and ask how you can get the job skills you need for the career you've always wanted in the National Guard.
Sponsored by the Minnesota National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
A, B, C, G, D, I can't remember.
Poor nutrition in his first 5 years can limit memory development. Get proper nutrition before it's too late. Call or visit WIC. WIC provides nutrition information, healthcare referrals, even food. To find out more, call 1-866-WIC-INFO. Your child has you, and you have WIC. Brought to you by the National WIC Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Mick Sterling Experience, promoting awareness for the 30 Days Foundation. Search for the 30 Days Foundation to donate or to get help. Now, back to the music.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Mick Sterling Experience, a program benefiting the 30 Days Foundation, and brought to you in part by I'm With the Band, the Apple River Family Campground in Somerset, Wisconsin, and Mick Sterling Presents. Now with more music and interviews, host Mick Sterling.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everybody. You're listening to the Mick Sterling Experience in front of a live audience, having lovely treats and sandwiches and sun chips. Sun chips. Oh, I love sun chips. The original sun chips are my favorite, Ken. One day I want to do the Mick Sterling Experience chewing sun chips while I'm speaking.
Whoa.
That's good radio right there.
That's great radio.
That's very good radio.
Yes.
We are here. The Mick Sterling Experience is in your town. One of the big reasons that we are in your town is that we do want to promote the 30 Days Foundation, a charity that I started in 2011. We assist Minnesota and Western Wisconsin residents that are in real-life financial crisis. And we do that by providing a one-time grant. But friends, when we make that grant, it doesn't go to the person, it goes to the service provider that requires the payment. So we're talking about very unsexy things like back rent and storage unit bills and recovery and sober house deposits and utility bills, those little things. The big things always start with little things. We try and stop the momentum of the little things. When we have funds, we make the payment directly to the service provider. Since 2011, because people have assisted us, we are over 110,000 grants that we've made, which is amazing stuff. Thank you. So if you're finding out about the 30 Days Foundation for the first time, visit the30-daysfoundation.org. I think you're going to like it. Find out about it. If you want to donate, terrific. If you need help, email us. There's no application. There's no office visit. Just tell us what's going on. And if we can help, we will do that. All right? Thank you for letting me talk about it. Folks, we are here. Thanks, you guys. We are here featuring the music of a true blues man, a true troubadour who loves his craft. And it's very evident that you love your craft. Let's have another song. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ken Valdez on the Mick Sterling Experience.
Indeed. Coming out to the Twin Cities, I believe that you got to get funky.
There you go.
That's just the way it is, so hope you like this. She is joy. She is pain. She's a candle in the rain. She's a whisper, she's a scream. Yes, she is. I don't understand it. No, no. She's a mystery. She's satisfaction. She's desire. She's an angel. Playing with fire. She's the heaven. She's a sea. Yeah, well. I don't understand it. No. She's a mystery. A smarter man would turn and run before my world comes undone. Oh, I dance on the edge until I lose control. She has my heart, yes she does, but she wants my soul. She is boldness, she is fear, she's a smile through her tears. She's truth and love, she's fantasy. I don't understand it, no. She's a mystery. There's no explanation, no. She's a mystery. Hey! She's a mystery.
Bad man, that's Ken Valdez.
Thank you.
On the Mick Sterling Experience. All right, mister, let's talk about recording.
Okay.
Let's talk about the process of it, the realization of it. Let's talk about how it feels to hold that product in your hand and the state of the music business in the world you're in right now. From when you started to what it is right now. What is it right now? Let's talk about that.
The music business as a whole, at this very moment, is the Wild West.
Yes.
It's the Wild West. You can say that the artists won and the labels lost because labels are oh my gosh, we had no idea, people can put their music on Spotify and there's still a whole lot of money that changes hands between labels and artists. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to release music and be one of those artists that won, and I'm throwing up the air quotes, one of those artists that won. Right now, as it stands, there is a lot of noise. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of oversaturation with
There's
artists.
There's a lot of content.
There's a lot of content. And that's another thing with the state of the industry. And I'll touch on that in just a minute. The fact that it's so saturated, you got to weed out so much just to find the things that you really, really enjoy. And then hopefully from there, you guys just listen and go to shows, buy the merch, go to shows, listen, go to shows, buy the merch. And that's a beautiful thing. But you got to go through all of that stuff, right? But here's also the other side of the coin. And I'm not trying to complain. It's just such a different world. Back in the day, you'd write songs, you'd find your band, you'd go in and record, and you pay a ton of money for this product. Now, I still gotta, pay money. I learned how to do a little bit of this on my own, Thank you, pandemic, I guess. I don't know. I guess, necessity, right? Another invention. There you go.
Springsteen wrote this song called 57 Channels and There's Nothing On.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yes.
And then now there's like 350 channels.
Right.
And there's nothing on.
And there's nothing on.
There's a lot of stuff in television and in music to me where I just go, you may want to let that percolate a little bit longer.
Yes.
You're not ready to release. Just because it's easy to release it doesn't necessarily mean you should release it. That's the way I feel about a lot of stuff that I hear. It's like, this is not ready yet.
Well, I mean, you
go back in and tinker that a little bit.
you have that, but we're also living in a society that, the attention span is in nanoseconds.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody that wants to be a musician or wants to be a star, you're getting your stars from game shows. The Voice in American Idol, it's a game show. You're getting your talent from game shows. Okay, that's fine. They're talented people. Wonderful. You're getting it from a game show, right? And as far as being a musician these days, right? And again, I'm not complaining. This is the life I chose, or it chose me, or however you want to, wax poetic about it. But here I am trying to write songs, trying to record songs, trying to get songs out into the world. And all of a sudden, I got to start being a content creator and putting things out on my social media and on TikTok and on YouTube and do this and do that. And all of a sudden, what happens is that artistry that we love and we would do anything for gets, I believe this in my heart of hearts, it gets a little watered down because we're not focusing 100% on it like we used to. Because we got to go ahead and put up the next Instagram story or the Instagram reel or the YouTube short. Otherwise, our numbers are going to decrease and nobody's going to know who we are. And if we play for nobody, we play for nobody. And like I said earlier, it takes a crowd to make music happen, right?
It's a time-consuming venture.
Yes.
It's not, like I say, you're not pounding coal. It's not that kind of hard work, but it is a time-consuming venture. Let's talk about time. Let's talk about the time you're in before we go to break, because I want to go to a different part that relates to family.
Yes.
You are a family man.
I am.
You are a musician, a touring musician as a family man. Before we go to break, talk about your family just a little bit and talk about the balance that you have to do as a dad and a married man and kids, and how does that feel? How's that balance all work in Ken Valdez's life?
Back in the day when I toured, it was difficult. It was back when I toured, like many years ago. It was always difficult to be in touch with those that you love. That mean you give them a call from a hotel phone, pay phones. My goodness.
Yeah.
If you could find those anywhere. All of a sudden, you got cell phones now. One of the things that's made touring easier is the advent of Skype and FaceTime and things like that. Best invention ever. So that kind of eases my mind a little bit that I can actually have face-to-face, quote, air quotes, face-to-face moments with my family while I'm gone, right? Because being gone, that's the hard part. It really is. It's not as glamorous as the stereotype is sex, drugs, rock and roll. Oh, these guys are partying. No, man. Usually you'll find the band backstage looking at their cell phones just going, oh.
There's a lot of downtime.
So much downtime.
So much downtime.
And then there's the travel, right? So it's not just downtime before and after the show. It's
right.
You're going from place to place. So yeah, it gets to be a bit daunting, and it's not for everybody. And so going back to what we were saying about musicians nowadays, it's like, are you really ready to do stuff like this?
It's a commitment.
Yeah.
We're going to go to break soon, and we're going to kind of a precursor about Ken and I have a very interesting relationship.
Yes.
And we're going to find out about that after the break, because there's a lot of family between me and Ken. There's a lot of musical family, and there's a lot of personal family things that I'm going to share with our friends in the studio audience and our friends listening to the Mick Sterling Experience featuring Ken Valdez. We'll be back. Here we go.
Only spackle once with Red Devil one-time lightweight spackling. Used for cracks and holes inside and out. It sticks tight to plaster, wallboard, wood, or stucco. Dries smooth and requires little to no sanding. Easy spackling is available at your local Hardware Hank. So stop by and pick up some Red Devil one-time lightweight spackling today.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
Your first word probably wasn't something like finance, or savings, or ATM. But whatever that first word was, it opened up a world to you that was built on conversations. It's this exchange of ideas that Wells Fargo puts into practice every day, through listening, guiding, and planning. So when the conversation is about ways to grow your savings or your business, we'll be here to help you find the right answers. Because an open dialogue is what opens doors. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A.
Before tip-off, let us stand for our national anthem.
Schools need athletes, but they also need pep bands. Get involved in music, drama, speech, visual arts, or athletics. A message from the Minnesota State High School League.
The Mick Sterling Experience, furthering awareness of the 30 Days Foundation.
I always wanted to be a fireman when I grew up.
A pilot.
A teacher.
For me, it was an engineer.
Over the years, my dream didn't change.
But the rising cost of college was a big reality check.
I was determined to make it on my own, to find a way that I could pay for college.
That's why I joined the National Guard.
The Guard gives me money for college.
So I can go to school full-time and fly part-time.
My unit helps out after a natural disaster hits.
Like after a tornado.
Flood.
Blizzard.
So I get to help people, just like I always wanted.
And around here, that's almost every June.
Monday through Friday, my job might be in finance. But when a wildfire breaks out, I get called up to help control it. There's no bigger rush than being a firefighter in the Guard.
Then flying a Black Hawk.
Then leading my squad.
Then rebuilding my hometown.
The National Guard.
All right, 20 seconds.
Thanks to the Guard, I'm becoming who I always wanted to be.
You can reach your education and career goals faster in the National Guard. Visit 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD and ask us how much you'll receive towards your college expenses.
Sponsored by the Minnesota National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's Mick Sterling.
All right, welcome back, the Mick Sterling Experience. Hey, before you do anything else, if you're at home or you're on the road, think about this. Something called Mickisms. Now you can find Mickisms at mickisms.com. So we'll have Mick tell you quickly what Mickisms are. Again, you can find Mickisms and you can subscribe at mickisms.com. Mick, give us a little spiel.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thanks for being at the Mick Sterling Experience. Our live audience, say hello to our live audience, radio audience. Thanks for talking about Mickisms. Mickisms is my third literary effort. It is a unique concept. It's not a book. It's not a hard copy book. It's not a soft copy book. It's not a Kindle. It's not an audio book. It is a coffee table email book, which means that if you go to mickisms.com and you spend $4.99, you will get one page of Mickisms every 3 days in your email at 7 in the morning. You don't need to read it at 7 in the morning. It's just, that would be a real niche thing to do, wouldn't it? But it's there. And they're just one-page little things, take like 5 seconds to get them. They're pretty funny. I think they're pretty funny. They're thoughtful and thought-provoking and befuddling, and it's just a fun way to start your day every 3 days. So mickisms.com is the only place you can get the book. So I'm very proud of it. I hope you guys can pick it up. So we are on the final phase of this very, very special Mick Sterling Experience with my dear friend Ken Valdez, who is killing it. Don't you think, live studio audience? Killing it. So Ken and I have been in the trenches in the music scene for a long time in the Twin Cities, and I introduced my son Tucker to Ken at a club called Bunkers. Tucker graduated from high school. He wanted to be in bands. He was a bass player. He was a very good bass player. And I brought Tucker to Bunkers when I was doing a show, and I introduced him officially to Ken, although I think they knew each other before that, maybe briefly. But Ken was looking for a bass player. Tucker was a bass player, a very good bass player, and they hit it off famously right away. Ken, talk about you playing with my son Tucker in the early days, and we'll just continue from there.
I think one of my favorite things about that was the week before I met Tucker. Mick was playing at Bunkers, went to go see his band, and you know, he did know that I was looking for a bass player, but he comes down and he talks to me. He's like, no, I know that you're looking for a bass player. I have this son.
The son, I know.
And, you know, he's really good. Yeah, he's not of age yet. He just graduated high school, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. But he's so good, and he sounds the way a bass player should sound. He plays the way a bass player should play, and he's a much cooler version of myself.
Yes.
Those were your exact words. And I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Let's do this. The following week, I met my musical soulmate.
Yes.
I met my brother. I consider him my brother. I do. He is family. Just my day-to-day, my guy. He's just the best touring companion I've ever had. One of the funniest people I've ever met. Yes. One of the best. Just, it was incredible.
So Tucker and Ken traveled quite a bit. Did a lot of shows in the Twin Cities and did a lot of touring. In about 2016, Tucker was feeling bad for a couple of weeks, and we didn't know what it was. And his face was all puffed out, and it was a weird thing. I thought maybe he had some kind of tick or something like that. Well, we found out that he had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he was 26 at the time. And in the 2 years that 2.5 years that he was going through that, Ken was, you know, Tucker and Ken would still play. Tucker would play through chemo, and the band still sounded amazing. And there was a moment when Tucker was in the ICU, and it was the last 12 days of his very short life. He passed away at 29. And I called Ken because Tucker had a band called Dirt Train that he was the leader of, and he also played with Ken, so he was a very busy guy. And Dirt Train came up, and Tucker was in a very bad state. But when they showed up, he just lit up. He was in the hospital bed, and it was one of those, you know, when people are getting close to passing away, God gives you this moment. You know that moment when you just have time to say what you need to say. And I called Ken. I said, Ken, get down here. And you drove down to the U, and Ken was in the waiting room in Tucker's room the last 12 days, and we became this incredible group of people, And I'll never forget calling Ken, and you just said, I'm there. And you drove down as fast as you could. And there was, through all that agony, there was such beauty that happened in that hospital. And Ken was one of the reasons it was beautiful. He was there, he did whatever he needed to do, and he was the pipeline to a lot of people that knew Tucker, and you did good, man. You did good. You were great to my son.
He was great to me.
Yeah.
I am so grateful that Tucker allowed me to be a part of his life.
Yeah.
And man, because he completely changed, rearranged mine. I am a better person, a better musician, a better friend, a better father, a better everything because of Tucker.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've never met another person like him. I never will. And I'm quite all right with that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was good, man. It was really good.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me talk about that, Ken. I appreciate that very much.
I appreciate it too.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you this. I think that, I don't know if you know this or not, but it was one of the funniest things. So Tucker, again, one of the funniest guys you've ever met. Going through Hodgkins and just not well, but the band is in there, and we're all trying to figure out how it is that we're feeling too while we're there. And it's tough, and it's time for us to go out of the room. And keyboard player was like, and this is the funniest thing, because if you know my keyboard player, like it was magic. Tucker, being Tucker. Adam was asking him, "Hey man, is there anything I can get you? Foot massage, anything?" Tucker just looks at him and is like, "No, man, no. I don't want you to get this."
Oh my goodness!
We lost it.
The man was dry, sandpaper dry. My son
lost it as we were walking out of there, and just the fact that like he got him so good that one last time, it was like, and he knew it, and we all knew it, and it was just like it was this perfect exit, and just like because we were shaken, and I think that he kind of knew that, but he just made everything better with just that humor and that wit.
Yeah.
I loved that, man. That was so funny.
You know, man, there's not enough time for you to do another song in the show, but unless it's a very short song, can you make it a little bit
I
short?
could make something short.
All right, well, let's do that, because we got 1 minute.
Oh, he could, no, we got more than that. He could jam us out,
This is
though.
great. Oh,
Just
this
go
is great.
for it.
Okay, very good, very good. Thanks, Matt. Folks, thank you for listening to the Mick Sterling Experience. You've been listening to Ken Valdez, and we've had an amazing hour together. We're going to finish out the show with Ken doing one more song on the Mick Sterling Experience. Ken Valdez, folks.
All right. Since we're talking about Tucker, this was the hardest song for me to play after he passed. Like, difficult. But because of what he added to it. But now that I get a chance to play it, there's like a sense of solace, a sense of like, man, I love this, and I hope it hits you guys the way it hits me. And it goes like this. Until you need my love again, I will stay gone. Now leave before there's any more damage done. When those eyes I love fill with bitter tears, a long lost friend will reappear. Darling, come hell or high water, I will be there, yeah. Nothing can ever, ever take me away from here. Ooh, yeah. I feel the love that ran between us has grown cold. it's alright, there's no one to blame. Just time to go until we meet again in another space and time. Oh, take these words to ease your mind. Listen, darling, come here. High water. I will be there. Nothing can ever, no, ever take me away from here. Ooh, yeah. Darling, come here. High water. I will be there. Nothing can ever, ever take me away from here. Yeah. Said hell or high water. Well, I will be there. Well, I will be there. Hey, hey, yeah.
Ken Valdez, friends. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
You've been listening to the Mick Sterling Experience in your town at this moment. Thanks for listening. See you again.
You've been listening to the Mick Sterling Experience from Utility Room A along the banks of the Minnesota River. Catch us each week right here, and don't forget to reach out to the 30 Days Foundation to donate, or more importantly, to receive help. Catch you next time for live music on the Mick Sterling Experience.